Welcome to the Fasting Podcast, Wow, Wellness and Optimal Weight. I'm your host, Julie Phillips, certified natural health professional, and this is episode 58, Things that Delay or Prevent Fat Loss. When the body is looking for things to consume to generate energy with ATP in the mitochondria of the cell, they're going to take the path of least resistance. So what's the easiest? Well, if we've consumed food and drink that's broken down enough to be used as energy, that's what the body will use for the energy. So if we eat so much that it can supply all the energy our body needs throughout the day, why would the body work to break down fat? If we're eating too much, we better exercise or move enough to deplete the consumed food. The fat that we want to break down may be subcutaneous fat under the surface where we might notice it on tummy, hips, or thighs, but it also could be visceral fat clinging to vital organs. And I had a 100-pound woman measure high on the fat, and her doctor confirmed it on multiple machines. So sure enough, anyone, even though they look real thin, can have high visceral fat. So we recommend that you want to get rid of excess fat because fat sequesters toxins and emits toxins, including over 30 substances are coming out of the excess fat, including the vast majority of them, with one of them promoting insulin resistance and another one, the bad form of the hormone estrogen that might promote tumor risk. So we want to get rid of it, but definitely the path of least resistance is what we just put in our mouth during the day. Now, after the body has depleted the consumed foods, the next easiest for the body to go get is stored carbs and sugar in our muscles and liver. We call that the glycogen stores. The body actually will put the excess carbs and sugar in the muscles and liver when it needs it quick. So glycogen is readily mobilized, great source of energy for the brain or sudden strenuous exercise if you have to sprint across the parking lot and the body doesn't have other energy to use. That's where it goes to the glycogen stores. Now, those glycogen stores are surrounded by water molecules so that when we finally deplete those glycogen stores, we can lose a noticeable amount of number off the scale, but it might not be fat. It might be the water around the glycogen stores as they get depleted. So we need to be cautious not to keep filling back up the glycogen stores when we eat excess net carbohydrates. Now, what are net carbohydrates? You take the total carbohydrates of something, like let's say 16, and you subtract how much fiber. So maybe there's 14 grams of fiber, so that only leaves 2 net carbs so far. But what if it has the erythritol plant, which is a natural sugar alcohol that doesn't get metabolized, doesn't disrupt the blood sugar or the pancreas, and doesn't store as glycogen? So if there was 1 gram of that, we've got 16 minus 2 fiber minus 1. There's only 1 net carb to be concerned with here for filling up those glycogen stores. So obviously the standard American diet is loaded for the average person with lots and lots of carbs and often hidden carbs. So we need to be careful on the glycogen stores because the glycogen stores can absolutely delay or prevent fat loss, the toxin-laden fat. What about after the food we've consumed being depleted and the glycogen stores being depleted? Well, people think the body will automatically go right to the stored fat. However, simultaneously, the body's capable of burning both protein, which could be muscle, and fat. So it's crucial to secure and maintain your muscle mass. And episodes 9 and 10 were very good content on protein. If we're securing our muscle mass and we get to this stage of the game, the body could be now breaking down the stored toxin-laden fat as one of the primary sources of energy. If we have a lot of protein, that's all the body has available at the time, it can actually become glucose, sugar, via a process called gluconeogenesis, creation of new good sugar for an emergency. So we don't want that to happen. but the fat can absolutely be burned, the toxin-laden fat, resulting in ketones, which is a superior fuel than sugar for the brain and the body. And if we've got open bowels, we can release the toxins and more than double the calories of energy we're receiving. And don't forget the sufficient water. What do I mean by more than double the calories of energy? When our body burns 1 gram of carbohydrate or protein, we get 4 calories of energy. But when we burn a gram of fat, we get more than double 4. We get 9 calories of energy. So often people that are burning fat, they are really noticing improved energy. And if you are trying to burn fat, it's a good idea to avoid eating fat and carbs together in the same meal and in the same mouthful, because fat and carbs together in the mouth can affect and detriment carb digestion. Like when you eat carb and fat together, like baked potato and butter, or even a pizza, an organic one, the carbohydrates can cause the body to produce insulin, which is the key to unlocking the fat cell and storing the carbs and excess fat in there as fat. So carbs and fat in the same meal and in the same mouthful are something to avoid. Now, let me do a quick recap. First, the available food for energy. Second, the glycogen stores in the body and the muscles and liver. Third, the protein/muscle and the fat can be burned or broken down simultaneously, so we want to make sure we're preserving our muscle mass. Some of the things besides eating and drinking all natural and organic whenever possible, we want to avoid overeating because that can delay or prevent fat loss, and minimize the net carbs. Remember, the net carbs are the total carbs minus fiber and minus natural sugar alcohols like the erythritol plant. We want to preserve our muscle with pure dietary protein. And since it takes about 10 to 12 hours, or can take that long, to deplete the food that we ate and drank, and then the glycogen, making a fasting window as long as possible when you're trying to burn fat. For example, keeping your caloric food to an 8-hour window gives you 16 hours in the day to burn off those supplies and help the body get around to burning fat. And it does matter how much carbs were in there to affect the glycogen stores. Some people like a 6-hour window or a 4-hour window, which the 4-hour window would give you 20 hours to get to the business of depleting everything and burning toxin-laden fat. So you might want to check out episode 28 on a very inexpensive body composition scale you can get on Amazon, and find out where you stand and watch as you go through the process. Remember, plentiful pure water, open bowels for the crucial exit of toxins, and consider either a ketone breath meter that tells you whether you're in ketosis, burning fat, or the ketone strips, episode 15. Possible next steps: watch related episodes that we mentioned, refer others, and check out our website, www.jpwowprograms.com. It has slides for each episode. It has our favorite WOW natural products, a blog, and the new WOW Lifeboat Freedom System for income from the WOW natural products. Even though that may not interest you, you might know someone that would be looking for both health and income as well. Direct any questions or feedback to me, Julie, at jpwowprograms.com. We hope you give us a good review and subscribe. Remember, stay positive, focused, and determined, because where the mind goes, energy flows.